Thank you to the International Igbo Conference for inviting me to speak on the theme, A New Dawn, Rebirth, Renewal, Regeneration. I've chosen to speak on the topic, Being Igbo and Wielding Our Soft Power, the Value of New Stories and Narratives. Ndị be anyị ekene m unu. Afam bụ Nkiru Balonu. My first name, Nkiru, or Nkiruka, which is a longer form, means the future is greater. It means the best is yet to come. It means the future is brighter. I'm very proud of my name, as you can tell, because imagine waking up each day and being driven by such a beautiful identity and meaning. I find it priceless. Nankedi Niruka. Nkedi Niruka has been my guiding force throughout my life, as long as I can remember, at least, so maybe throughout my adult life. Through failure and through anguish, I've always known that the future, my future, is brighter. And that knowledge has strengthened me and kept me strong and well, that the future is brighter. My last name, Balonu, is even more complex and nuanced. Balongununo, that's the longer form. Balogununo, think about it, Balongununo. It literally actually means death should enter into the house, or should I say death should go into the house, which would probably strike you as being odd. Why should death go into the house? But it actually means, what are you getting in the way of death? What is your trouble with death? You know, it's sort of like, it's quite complex, at least the way my dad explained it to me. I make this point to illustrate an aspect of Igbo culture, the belief that names have power and influence destinies. This is why no Igbo name exists without meaning. At the core of who we are lies a reverence for identity, a reverence for that sense of self, and a commitment to expressing that reverence. And the reason why identity is important. In a world with multiple stories and shifting priorities, it is easy for a culture to shift so far from its core and it loses recognition. It is easy to look in the mirror and see faces that are not ours. But we must recognize the multiple faces our culture gives us. The Igbo culture is defined by several aspects. We're committed to family and community. We are industrious. We're innovative. We do not sit still and wait for chance or luck. Are we proud? I guess so. But it's not pride born from arrogance. It is pride that is born from the belief that things will pay off if we work really hard. But do our narratives communicate these truths? No. And that's because the vast majority of who we are and the way we are perceived is framed by others. We face the same issue as the global Black community, storytelling and framing. Like Nigerians, like Africans, and Black people in general, even when our steps walk towards the future, our reputation remains rooted in stories constructed by others. I once said that the global news, and even our own, love to amplify the negative issues that face the continent, while often remaining silent on our successes. The same pattern plays out in how Ndibo are portrayed. When we are relentless, we're seen as selfish. When we are ambitious, we're seen as greedy. Our sense of industry is dismissed as a sordid quest for wealth. So how do we combat these viewpoints? Where are our voices? The answer lies, I think, in our soft power. I fell in love with this idea of soft power when I was writing my graduate thesis on Nollywood. It was coined, the phrase was coined by a Harvard professor, Joseph Nye, who described it as a nation's ability to attract and persuade, arising from the attractiveness of its culture, political ideals, and policies. And I've paraphrased. I particularly think that people are a great source of soft power. I remember seeing a video of Bishop T.D. Jakes talking about tracing his roots back to Igbo land and proudly identifying the traits we are often criticized for. It was also a real pleasure to see Genevieve Nnaji's Lionheart, which was an unapologetic peek into the Igbo way of life. It was fascinating, actually, to see how conversations around qualifying for the Oscars were actually very positive in communicating Nigeria's soft power. In the same year Lionheart was released, Black Panther received both critical and global acclaim. And I know you're gonna say, oh, enough about Black Panther, but there can never be enough about Black Panther. The image of Wakanda might have been futuristic, but its impact was immediate. Being Black was suddenly cool. Both Lionheart and Black Panther succeeded because we could look at them and recognize aspects of ourselves. More of this is needed, whether it's music, it's film, literature, other forms of the arts, whether it's industry or it's even politics. The value of soft power is something that Africa has been gradually awakening to in more recent years. It is also time for Ndibo to recognize the same value. When artist Flavor Nabania released Adada, he probably had no idea that his song would become a wedding anthem in Nigeria and beyond. And for many, it was an introduction to Igbo culture. What are we doing to export that culture? Consider forms of our rich and vibrant culture like the Ofala Festival from Onitsha, which is where I'm from. Well, hello. The most magnificent festival in Igbo calendar. We can certainly build narratives by promoting the assets we already have, by promoting our rich history. And the time is now, because time waits for no one. The internet and the media are great resources for us if we know how to use them. And by promoting our stories, by weaving elements of our culture into our work, we ensure that the world sees us for who we truly are. I mean, for example, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, I was proud to watch Dame Elizabeth Anyonwu receive the Pride of Britain Award for her work on sickle cell. I don't know her. I recognize her as Igbo from her last name, Anyonwu. People like Onyeka Onwenu and what she has done for music in Nigeria. I remember her song, One Love, Keep Us Together. I mean, I guess everybody remembers that song. Contemporary artists like Fino, Flavor, and Illbliss, who have made it cool for young people to speak Igbo. And of course, the first African and female to lead the WTO, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, inspiring millions of African women and girls around the world. And we're truly proud to see her wearing her Ankara and representing. I mean, did you see the viral video with all the challenges with tying scarves? I mean, that made it cool. Young girls were trying to tie scarf like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. And I know we cannot talk about soft power without talking about Chimamanda Adichie and my all-time favorite, the great Chinua Achebe. These people have all, in their different spheres of influence, changed the way we are perceived. Their lives and work have shown the world that we are who we say we are, formidable. By being themselves, they are creating new stories and narratives. And this is the value of soft power, the way it demands that people should be seen in a different light, the way it invites curiosity and exploration. Yet, while we recognize that we must own our cultural identity, I think we have to resist the temptation to assume that there is a fixed way to be Igbo. Was it not Chinua Achebe who said, "The world is like a mask dancing. If you want to see it well, you do not stand in one place." Who we are can be expressed in different forms, in both the flamboyant and the subtle. I believe that being Igbo lies in the mind, and even as we deal with the stereotypes and prejudice, we must, within ourselves, realize that there is nothing like a single way to be truly Igbo. We all have several aspects. I'm Onitsha, I'm Igbo, I'm Nigerian, I'm African, I'm Black. And these aspects and the experiences that come with them are all interconnected. And in being our best selves, in striving to be impactful and leave our mark on the world in whatever we do, we have to combine every bit of who we are to channel our soft power. So I leave you with this question. What is your soft power? And how are you channeling your inner superpower? Thank you so much. Thank you to the Igbo conference for this. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I hope that I have said something meaningful to you today. Thank you.